Why Catholics Maintain that Euthanasia is Morally Wrong by Claire Sweeney and Caitlyn. Definition of euthanasia: the intentional killing of a person for compassionate motives, whether the killing is by a direct action, such as a lethal injection, or by failing to perform an action necessary to maintain life. For euthanasia to occur, there must be an intention to kill. Argument for euthanasia number 1. If a person chooses to end his or her life or have someone else assist him or her in doing so, then it is morally permissible. This argument is saying that a person has a moral right to kill himself if he wants. Argument for euthanasia number 1. It is also saying that the government has a moral duty to make doctors kill a patient if the patient requests it. This means that the doctors would be required to assist anyone who decided they did not want to live in their own self-destruction. Catholic answers to argument number 1, the moral right. God gives us the ability to do good and evil, but having this ability doesn't mean we have a moral right to do evil. We have the moral power to do evil, but not the moral right. God doesn't give us the moral right to do evil, even if the government does. Life is sacred from conception, and euthanasia involves the killing of a human being. Catholic answers to argument number 1, the image of God. Euthanasia is the intentional killing of the innocent and goes against the 6th commandment, you shall not murder. If you kill someone, you are inadvertently killing God because we are made in God's image. Life is a sacred thing from conception, and God does not want us harming it. Argument for euthanasia number 2. If we truly care for our family and friends, we would not allow them to suffer when there is a way to ease their burden and help them by making them happy again. Argument for euthanasia number 2. It is inhumane to watch someone you love suffer when you know there is something you can do to send them to a happier place. When they are in the happier place with God, you will know you have done a good deed in helping someone you love. Catholic answers to argument number 2, duty to care. The Bible strongly encourages mankind to care for his fellow man. We must love our neighbor as ourselves. Jesus taught that a stranger in trouble was our neighbor. Therefore, we must care for them, and the best way to care for them is to let them live. Catholic answers to argument number 2. Euthanasia, whether it be the victim's choice or another's choice, is not caring for humankind. Saving a person's life is caring. Therefore, ending their life is the complete opposite of caring. Catholic answers to argument number 2. God has a reason for everything. We believe that God has a reason for everything under heaven, yes, even suffering. Many people who are on their deathbed have been brought to Christ. Even more often, someone on their deathbed has brought someone else closer to Christ. And we cannot know if the Lord will cause a miracle to occur. Argument for euthanasia number 3. Sometimes the person that needs to be euthanized for their own good is not capable of making this decision for themselves and needs a push in the right direction, but either way, the outcome is a safer and happier one. Argument for euthanasia number 3. It does not matter that a person may not make this decision for themselves entirely. If the people around them feel euthanasia is the correct option, then it is what should be done. Catholic answers to argument number 3, manipulation. People who feel uncertain about whether their lives are worth living are vulnerable to being manipulated by either doctors or those that are around them. The key witness to an act of euthanasia is always dead, and therefore cannot do anything about the act of injustice that was done to them. Catholic answers to argument number 3. Voluntary leads to involuntary. Euthanasia, though it is a voluntary act now, will soon become something customary and acceptable for a doctor to perform. 20% of all medically assisted deaths were involuntary in 2001. Argument for euthanasia number 4. If a person chooses to end his or her life by means of euthanasia, it should not be frowned upon, because it is their body and they have the right to do with it what they please. Argument for euthanasia number 4. If people are allowed to do things to their body that are permanent, such as getting a tattoo or plastic surgery, then they should be allowed to alter their life in such a way that they have no life anymore. It is their body, therefore it is their decision.
Catholic answers to argument number 4. Our lives are not our own. Human life is not our property, because God is our creator. Our lives are meant for the service of God. It is not our right to take lives, even our own, because God has not given us permission to harm his creation.
Catholic answers to argument number 4. Own body. The argument that everyone has a right to do with their own body as they see fit does not hold up. Euthanasia gives one person the ability to facilitate the death of another person, thus becoming a public matter and out of one person's hands, making it not just their decision anymore.
Catholic answers to argument number 1. Not our decision. God gives and God takes away. Job chapter 1 verse 21. The key word being God in that quote. We do not have any say or the right to decide in the matter of who dies and who lives. Only God has ever had this power, and that is how it should stay.
Argument for euthanasia number 5. Sometimes the only option for the patient is euthanasia because they are just so far past the point of return. Their suffering is so great that the only way to get out of it is death, and euthanasia is an easy and fast way to achieve this goal.
Argument for euthanasia number 5. Pain can be an unbearable thing, and watching someone go through that can be unbearable for other people as well. There is no need for suffering if euthanasia is an easy way to get out of it.
Catholic answers to argument number 5. Other ways to treat suffering. It is acceptable to administer pain-relieving medication when the desired effect is to relieve pain. The undesired effect is the shortening of a life by means of euthanasia, but it is possible for a person to live a longer life comfortably.
Catholic answers to argument number 5. Reducing pain. With modern advances in the care of the ill, there is no need for such patients to suffer uncontrolled physical pain. The suggestion that the only way to kill the pain is to kill the patient is wrong.
Catholic answers to argument number 5. Fear. Patients can be vulnerable and scared about the potential pain ahead in their illness or injury, and this inadvertently messes with the patient's head. Their judgment can be impaired when they choose euthanasia. They may not see the true consequences.
Catholic answers to argument number 5. Mission to heal. Jesus healed the sick and dying. He did not kill them. Christians have a duty to help others who are suffering, not kill them. Humans have a responsibility to use God's gifts to the full, not end it. Euthanasia denies our responsibilities to our neighbors, society, and family, etc.